What's up, everybody? Welcome. It's Orange Was Live. I'm Jeff. He's Chad. Going to be with you for a little while. Do us a solid. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel. Are we at 175 yet? Where are we?
174 plus is the number.
On, bitches, help us get to 170. Or gentlemen and ladies, whatever helps. 175 would be nice. Jump into the specs chat it up, leave your comments. There it is, 174. Thank you for updating me there, Chad. Give me some confetti to get us started on a Friday.
There we go. Confetti. Hang on.
Let's not go halfway. I did have enchiladas. We'll get into that in a second. We are talking War Room, Texas and Vanderbilt plays tomorrow, and yet it feels like there's a bigger conversation taking place around Texas football that doesn't make the game like the undercard, because that certainly isn't true at all. The Longhorns haven't been at home in 42 days as of tomorrow. That's a long time.
Yep.
There's a lot on the line. There's a big difference between 7-2 and 6-3. One might have you ranked in the top 15 after Sunday, and the other may leave you in the land of the unranked, never to see the land of the rankings again. So
yeah, and out of the playoffs probably.
I think you'd have to beat Georgia and then start from there. But yeah,
right.
you're running out of wiggle room, and that's only if you do think that a 9-3 team can plow their way through into the playoffs. And we have not yet seen that happen. So it's best that Texas win tomorrow. And yet, the latest with Arch Manning, I saw earlier today, it was questionable again on yesterday's official SEC injury report.
Yes.
So is Michael Taaffe. We'll get into Taaffe in a little bit. I have more pause on Taaffe after last night and talking to sources than I have at any point this week. So,
because I don't like catch. While we talked about no regression is positive, I get that part. I did not like seeing it stay at questionable. I would have really liked to see those guys go to probable. Hudson did. That was pretty good news. This one tonight, the Friday night one, I'd really like to see Arch and Taaffe up to probable if I'm thinking they're both going to go.
I had somebody last night tell me, and I didn't put this in the War Room because it was coming out like an hour before the injury report came out, but it wasn't really like the source was the source said, keep an eye on the injury report. That guy had told me he wouldn't have been surprised if Taaffe had been downgraded.
Ooh, okay.
And I was like, what?
Yeah, that's not good.
So that's what, honestly, I think I expected Arch to stay at questionable.
Okay.
I think he's still probably questionable.
You thought Taaffe might go to doubtful.
I know. I had someone last night tell me, don't be shocked if that happens.
Gotcha. Okay.
He stayed at questionable, but ever since that comment was made, I have been a little bit like, oh, maybe I don't. I have had multiple people tell me they think there's a better chance that Arch plays on Saturday than Michael Taaffe.
Oof. Okay. All right.
So
defense got to be ready.
Everybody just keep your head on a swivel. He's been back involved with the team for much of practice. But anyway, the larger story, though, I think continues to be Arch. And one of the things that's happened this week is there is a segment, and look, we see them in the chats. We see them on the shows. They make comments. They send in super chats. We've seen people on Orange Bloods. We've seen people on social media say things like, Texas might be better with Matthew Caldwell playing instead of Arch. That maybe this is the thing that Texas wasn't going to win if Arch played, but now you're playing the better quarterback in Matthew Caldwell. And it's like, well, why do you think he's a better quarterback? Because did you see those two passes?
There wasn't one catch. One is a throw. You know what two is? Two is an argument.
I had somebody I said, what has you thinking that he could do it tomorrow? And I was like, I watched the Iowa game, and I was like, the Iowa game last year that he played at Troy, where he posted a 130 quarterback rating and got replaced by the guy that ultimately took his job, like that game.
How dare you bring up numbers when they're
the one they lost by 17? Iowa doesn't even score 17 points.
They're just trying to have a good feeling. Will you let them have a feeling? You're just bringing numbers and stats and wins and losses into it.
Well, look, there was a post on Orange Bloods at one point last week. And look, the guy fully threw himself on the sword, has done his mea culpa. We did have somebody on Orange Bloods last week that was like, Sark is frustrating me so bad that I'm rooting for an Arch Manning injury.
Oh, dear God. What?
That happened.
Come on.
So you can imagine how that thread went.
No,
Arch got hurt.
The only fan I know that roots for their own quarterback to get hurt is my wife with Aaron Rodgers with the Steelers, and it's a complicated story. No one else needs to do that.
Well, look, I don't think that guy meant it, and then I think he genuinely felt terrible when he got hurt. But there is this thing that Texas fans believe that Arch Manning is the reason why they're 6-2. And I feel like, and look, I didn't quote this part of the thing. I probably should have. But one of the sources I talked to yesterday was like, we're 4-4 at best without Arch. 4-4. And the idea, the notion that we're better without him, I've just had people go, are people not watching the games? Do they not realize that with no run game, with no offensive line, with receivers that from game to game drop passes, catch passes, you can't really set your watch by what to expect with them. They're putting all of the offensive success on a guy who's a first-year starter. And they're saying, we know the offensive line isn't as good, and by God, you're basically flinching every time you finish a 3-step drop because someone's in your face. Receivers who've been inconsistent, a running game that never gets on track, coaching that seems confused from week to week. There's this thought that it's Arch's fault.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to, well, hey, man, whatever it is that we are because of Arch. And it hasn't been helped because Arch has had some ugly games.
Yep.
And when you're the quarterback,
biggest deal.
And when you're ugly against Kentucky, people will remember that for weeks.
Yeah.
And we know that he wasn't great in September. But there is no getting around the fact that I don't think they beat Oklahoma, and I don't think they beat Mississippi State last weekend without Arch Manning playing at a reasonably high level, higher than the quarterbacks. And the kid at Mississippi State, Shapen, last week played well. But down this stretch, Arch played the way you would want Arch to play. And so it's a real interesting thing as we enter the game tomorrow. There's a will he or won't he conversation, Chad. There's a should he or should he not conversation taking place.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also a should we even want him to conversation taking place. And
that's the silliest one.
And I'm telling you, I finally have had people inside the program, connections to the program, say enough is enough. Like he's not retire his jersey level performance yet. But if you don't understand that he's whatever it is that Texas is, he's the best version of it.
Yeah.
I had another person, and I didn't quote this person, who was like, fuck around and find out. That's what Texas fans are asking for by begging for the backup quarterback to get, of all the games, maybe the toughest that Texas has played since Ohio State. That's a conversation. It's either the toughest game that Texas has played is either this one or you've got to go to the Oklahoma game. It comes down to who do you think's the better team right now between Vanderbilt and Oklahoma?
No, that's easy. That is simple. This is a much tougher team.
This isn't Arkansas. This isn't even Kentucky or Mississippi State. This is not a game where you want any frontline player missing out. And
no, you got to beat this team. OU will help you. Vandy does not usually help you beat them. OU does.
I don't think Texas, I won't say can, because you can have turnovers, you can have special teams touchdowns. We've seen Texas concoct a point total that's not all offensive.
Right.
I don't know how you take the starting quarterback off of this team, weaken the running game, weaken what you can expect from your pass protection. Like Matthew Caldwell is a nice enough athlete, but he's not doing what Arch can do. You're much more of a sitting duck behind an offensive line that really can't afford to have a sitting duck back there. We've talked all year long that you wouldn't want Quinn playing behind this offensive line because you're just going to ask him to take a beating. I don't know what this offense even looks like beyond 2 plays if Arch Manning's not in the game. Tomorrow's not the day to find out. And there are a segment of Texas fans that are curious, maybe even morbidly so. Like, what is this? What does this look like? What if I have had numerous people, Chad, ask me, what kind of stat line does Matthew Caldwell need to have this week against Vanderbilt to put the coaches in a position where they got to make a real choice going into the Georgia game? And it's like,
wow, we're there, huh? We're there?
We're there. And it's like people didn't even notice that on Monday, which is kind of the unofficial Matthew Caldwell holiday, Sark, literally the first thing that Sark said was, hey, this probably won't matter to the rest of you guys, but you know what really excited me? KJ Lacey working with the twos. That's a hell of a thing to say when.
Now he did say Caldwell's name before he said that, to be fair.
I know, but then he said, you know what really excited me?
He did. Yes, he did both of those things.
Did not say, you know what really excited me? KJ Lacey was nice and all, but Caldwell, no. The thing that most excited him was Lacey working with the twos.
Yep.
And I know people are like, oh, don't pay attention to press conference statements, that it's all a little bit of theater, which I do subscribe to that thinking. But it's like, I don't know, man.
Yeah. I know.
He's telling us stuff.
He is. You got to pay attention sometimes. Bates, ATX Bates, I see that super chat. We will get to it. We'll continue this Arch Manning discussion. I think it's fantastic. I think I know exactly what's happening with Texas fans and Arch Manning. We'll get into that. Real quick, though, before we do, let me remind you, tomorrow at the Deep Eddy Vodka Tasting Room, limited time, one-time pour, tasting room only, espresso, Deep Eddy vodka. Get out there and get yours in the next few days because I'm going to guess they're going to go fast. I haven't had a chance to taste it yet. I'm guessing it's going to go fast. Get out to the tasting room and get yourself some Deep Eddy espresso vodka. Could be a really cool Christmas gift idea for a drinker on your list. ATX Bates jumps in for a 10 spot. If you want to throw in a super chat, just like Bates did, go right ahead. He says, I'm torn about Arch. When a player gets a concussion, we expect them to be available in 7 days. But if a UFC fighter gets knocked out, i.e. concussion, no one is expecting them to fight 7 days later. Come on, Bates. Bates, you can't make that direct comparison, can you? A UFC fighter in a fight with no pads, no helmet, getting one of those punches on the jaw and going totally out, that's a little different than what we're talking about with Arch Manning, right? Let's all be real about what we're discussing here. Did those two helmets maybe make contact? Okay, sure. Could it have been targeting? Maybe. But was that one of the most vicious hits you've ever seen? I would argue no. And it certainly wasn't. It certainly didn't make me think of a UFC knockout. Catch, you've watched a lot of UFC knockouts. Did it make you think of a UFC fight?
No, but look.
I wouldn't go that far.
I've been having these conversations since David Ash. Where this gets tricky is you've got doctors who do things like clear players for activities, okay? The doctors say and do one thing, and then you'll have someone like me who's like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know if I would play a guy a week after a concussion. It's like, okay, well, when would you play him? And this ends up being like the real tricky, slippery slope because it's like, I don't know, 2 weeks, 3 weeks? Would you have a rule where you wouldn't have like UFC 6 weeks? Like, what is it, right? And then it comes back to, if you ask Sark this question, he's just going to say, I don't know. So I'm going to do what the doctors tell me I can do. And the doctors are saying he's okay to play. Who am I to argue with the doctors?
Right.
I feel like when it comes to concussions in football, we are still caught in this delicate dance where I think ATX Bates is more right than wrong. But until we start living in a world where the doctors are as cautious as some of us are, like, look, ATX Bates, you're asking more questions, it feels like, than sometimes, I don't know. Like,
Like, should there be, okay, this is a good example, right? Should there just be a flat rule of if you go out for that reason, take your helmet for a game? Like, should that be it?
The thing is, they're going to say that's not doctor advised.
Right.
If Arch plays tomorrow, the doctors will have cleared him.
Right.
That doesn't make me feel better.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Because there is a part of me that's like, yo. But here comes I'm going to make this next point, and the question that always follows it is 1,000% fair, and it's why all I can do is shrug my shoulders. It's like, well, what if Arch plays tomorrow and then has another concussion, right? The Tua situation. Then you'll look back at the decision to play him, and it'll just feel like you messed up, even though the doctors cleared him. But then the question that follows is, well, when would that not happen the rest of the season?
Right.
If we got to the A&M game and he suffers a concussion in that game, it's going to be real easy to look back at what's happened over the course of a month and say, shouldn't have been playing him. And it's like, well, the doctors cleared him a month ago. Like, how do you control some of these things?
Right.
I don't know what the right answer is. I know this, ATX Bates. Every time in the past I've ever questioned Texas players returning from concussions with real caution, I get made to feel like the biggest pearl clutcher of all time. You're not a doctor, you think you know better than them retort is a real tricky one for someone who generally raises their hand and says, listen to doctors and science. Like, I'm Mr. Hey, the reason why we pay doctors because they're smarter than us with like related to these subjects that we ask for their opinions on. This is how I had my kids. They were like, you're in danger of going into preeclampsia. You could die. And my wife was like, I'm not having the babies tonight. No way. God did not mean for the babies to come out of my body tonight. And I was like, Heather, we go see these doctors twice a week, Tuesdays and Fridays. We've done that for like 10 weeks straight. They're now saying that the babies have to come out. We're not going to stop listening to them now, are we?
Right.
And I kind of feel that way with these concussions things, right? Hey, the doctors say it's good. Well, if you come to this is like the only situation in the world where I find myself going, I don't know about these doctors. I do find myself saying a week is not enough time. But I know this. People act like I'm I'm leading the woke brigade, Chad. To dare say I'm kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's where it's like I always go back. It's like as a NFL fan and a Cowboys fan, I always go back to the moment they took Jason Witten's helmet away from him because I thought that was an interesting crossroads in the NFL. We'd never really seen that before, but they started to do that. And all I'm asking here is, could the doctors and the NCAA and everybody just say X amount of days, right? And maybe you make it the next game or whatever. Again, to your question, I don't know what the right answer is, but could we just say, look, player got hurt in this game, player's not going to play in the next game, period. Player's not playing next week.
By the end of the day, Arch Manning will have gone through 3 days of practice to some degree.
Right.
And if you told me that on Saturday, almost with any injury, I'd go, well, man, sounds like a guy who's probably on course to play.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, what those things will tell you is there haven't been any setbacks. Whatever the concussion was in real time, it wasn't so problematic that it's keeping him from driving a car, for lifting weights, or participating in practice. And I think it's going to come down to it's going to be a game time decision. I'm told Arch wants to play. I think Sarkisian wants him to play. If the doctors say he can play, they're going to play their starting quarterback in the biggest game of the season, no offense to Oklahoma, since the Ohio State game.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's absolutely what's going to happen. Darkborg 499. Didn't David Ash get cleared and have a quick secondary concussion, which eventually led him to having to quit?
I got to be honest, the timing of all of the Ash
concussions,
When it got, I don't remember the quick secondary concussion, only to say, in retrospect, all second concussions are quick secondary concussions.
Right.
I mean, if Chad and I got in an automobile accident tomorrow and we suffered a true concussion, like if something happened 9 months later and then we had another concussion, I feel like we would still call that a quick secondary. I've not had a concussion in my entire life.
Right. No,
I had one in year 49, and then even in like year 51, I would be like, I don't know, man. I've been having a lot more concussions lately. That's 2 and 3 years.
Yeah, no, that's true. I'm not. And then you just use an interesting phrase somebody else put in the chat, Catch, true concussion. We also have to remind ourselves we just don't actually know. I've heard different doctors, the sideline doctors talking about what Arch went through. I looked at it and I thought, well, I didn't see anything that made me sort of think of like Tua and the hand movements and something. But I also talked to somebody that said, did you notice Arch was throwing the pass when he was on the ground? And I'm like, what are you talking about? It's like, yeah, he hit the ground and then his hands kind of started moving. I'm like, wow, I didn't even see that. So
I didn't either.
The level of severity, like that's what we all, and again.
I will say though, one of the things from Saturday, in terms of in real time, how bad was it? They couldn't keep Arch from watching the game. You know what I mean? Like they were talking about in real time, Arch peeking his head out of the tent and
he wanted to know what was happening.
He wanted to know what was going on. It was like kind of dialed into the game the way you would kind of expect. It was overtime after all. I don't know that it means anything at all, but that it wasn't so serious that he wasn't in. There's a little bit more control, it sounds like he exhibited in the moment than I think some of the worst situations that we think of. But look,
yeah,
Onwar always brings this up. We only use the word concussion because we don't like to say the word brain injury out loud.
That's fair. Yeah.
And the moment you start saying things like, well, how significant was the brain injury?
Mm-hmm.
That's when it really starts to feel like, I don't know, man, but if I have to say the word brain injury, doesn't sound like the kind of thing you'd want to risk.
Right.
But I don't think they come up with these protocols willy-nilly. It feels like
right.
It feels like a whole bunch of money would be lost in a lawsuit if we ever found out that the protocols for concussions were predetermined because teams were like, how do we get the guy back in less than a week?
Yeah, there's multiple people involved here. There are a lot of adults involved. Arch is now 21 himself. We're not talking about a 15-year-old kid. He is 21. His parents are involved in the discussions. His coaches are involved in the discussions. Doctors are involved in the discussions. And, on some level, you got to trust that the adults are going to make an adult decision. Just like, Catch, I watched Tua play last night. Should Tua be playing right now? I don't know. There's probably some medical people that could tell me no. Yeah. But the adults are deciding he's going to play. Is there a danger? Of course there's a danger. How do I ensure he doesn't have a concussion? Well, that would be not play him. But that's not what we're talking about. That you can't do that part. Arch might end up saying, the doctor cleared me, and I had the same chance of getting hurt in this game as all my teammates do, but I'm playing. And at that point, what are you going to do? So this is a.
But how do we react? Does the fact that this offensive line sucks, does that matter at all? Should it?
Yeah, of course. It does. But, as bad as they've been, I understand he's taken some, he's gotten pressure. He's taken some hits. I don't know that I've ever seen a moment where I thought, oh my God, this offensive line is putting him in medical danger above football. I haven't had that moment. I haven't seen like 3 straight plays where like Gooseby.
It's tricky.
Lets a guy go free at him and he gets crushed and he gets hit in the head 3 times. I haven't seen that moment yet.
I will say, just to bring this point home, by the way, I do have my buy or sell questions in, so we can get to buy or sell anytime we want to today.
Excellent.
And I have it, I had to, well, when do we need to update the enchiladas?
We'll update the enchiladas. We'll get that coming up. You want to do that now?
Well,
I'll tell you what.
Because what I was about to say was I did meet Michelle for enchiladas today. We have made sure that we've done our part.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. We'll get that all covered. Let me
Hold on,
remind
I was
everyone.
going to tell you the reason why I was going to mention that, though, was I showed her the picture of me in the rabbit hat, the mask.
Oh.
And I think it was as hideous to her as it was to you when you saw it in real time.
Yeah, that was something. That was something. That was absolutely something. Do you still have it? Or did you lose it?
I don't know where it is.
Ah, damn it. All right. Let me remind everybody about the watch party. Then we'll update the enchiladas because all of you want to know. We're going back to TCH Social Austin. Come see us for some kegs and eggs, early kick, big old video screen. And now for those of you that have YouTube TV, you might have an extra reason to show up because Vandy in Texas is on ABC. And they're going through one of those things right now. So get on up there to TCH Social Austin. Watch the game with us. Get piled into the post game, and we will get that taken care of. All right. So, Catch, I have two images here. So let me show them, and you explain to me why we have two images. Image number one for enchiladas today is this image. And that definitely looks like a plate of enchiladas.
So hold on.
Okay.
So what happened was Michelle and I had talked about going to get enchiladas yesterday.
Okay.
Then I was like, I'll bring my wife along, so let's do it tomorrow at like her favorite Mexican food place. Then it occurred to me yesterday, this is one of the locations that I have had enchiladas before. And although the rules of how this work have never completely been clarified, in the event that I had to have new enchiladas every week and not ever a repeat plate, I went to this place that I saw said Tex-Mex on the side. It turned out to be a seafood, Mexican food place together.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know they did those, but they do. And honestly, there were some pretty interesting looking things on a menu that I would like to give a chance. So I ordered the lunch enchiladas, which is the plate that you saw.
Mm-hmm. So that was
in
yesterday.
the event that when Michelle and I went to do our duty today, we had the next plate of enchiladas.
Okay, so then this is today.
That's today at Natalita's, who I had previously been to, but Michelle hadn't been.
Ah, okay.
So
that also looks like enchiladas. That very much looks like a plate of enchiladas to me.
I know that when I told Michelle, felt like they were too juicy. And by too juicy, I think it's all the shit that they put on top, right?
God, y'all are picky.
But I told her, I said, I think that that's the thing that people look for. There's no way to look underneath that and be like, that's got to be the best tasting thing you've ever had in your life. It really is about what does it look like on top? And what I've learned, whatever you call that, gravy, chili, whatever, that stuff's important.
Well, yeah. Yeah, exactly. I'm glad you guys are finally learning about enchiladas.
She did not enjoy her enchiladas today.
Of course not. That's what we want. That's what's keeping this luck going. You're both overly picky. You both really don't enjoy enchiladas. You're doing it for a greater cause. You're doing this for the Texas Longhorns.
I thought I was, because that's been my favorite plate of enchiladas.
Yeah.
It's kind of mid again today. Like I just am not finding that there's anything that it's just not, I'm not. And Michelle said, I think you like it more than you're letting on.
Really? No,
I
you're
don't
not.
think so, because I have leftover. I didn't eat dinner last night.
Trust me.
That leftover plate, put it back up, the first picture.
The first one. Okay, hang on.
I only ate like one of these, right?
And is this beef or chicken?
Chicken.
Okay.
If you think that looks good, it's in my fridge. And at no point have I been like, oh, you know what sounds good? The leftover enchiladas.
I'm not sure if I know anyone who's ever had leftover enchiladas in their life. So, by the way, I also enjoyed
bad because she only took like 2 bites. She took hers to go. There's no way that makes it to her fridge. She's just trying to be kind.
Oh, yeah, no, she threw
to the Tex-Mex place that we ordered from that got paid nicely anyway.
She threw that away before she stepped in her car. She threw that away in the parking lot. I don't know what you're talking about. By the way, I love your comment about Mexican food and seafood being together. You've heard of fish tacos and shrimp tacos and stuff like that, right? Shrimp, like
yeah,
shrimp,
but that's not Tex-Mex. That's in California. You see a lot more of that.
shrimp fajitas and all that kind of stuff.
I have never once in my entire life had shrimp fajitas.
Yes, but they're there, right?
For the weirdos out there, I didn't realize it was.
That's how you look at like shrimp fajitas and shrimp tacos. Oh, that's what the weird people eat.
Kind of, yeah.
That's fantastic.
The thing is, I saw Tex-Mex, and then when I pulled up next to it, I was like, "Oh, the hell is this?"
Oh my god!
And it's called, I believe, El Rifu Seafood.
Okay,
but there's they have number 3. So anyway,
that is fantastic. All right, hey, you've done your part. Y'all done your part. Michelle, well done. Catch, well done. Now let's see if the Longhorns can do their part. I think y'all done everything you can do.
I mean, you can't. We've already discussed if and when we're pretty confident they're going to win tomorrow.
Yeah,
we have to raise the stakes for Georgia.
What's that going to mean? You're going to have enchiladas every day?
No, but it may mean that we do like a poll or something where we find out where the best place in Houston. It feels like Michelle keeps coming my way. So maybe it takes us wherever it takes us. But if there's a super enchiladas place in Houston,
yeah,
it feels like that's what we need to do. Go for the very best.
That's going to be awesome, too, when that place has you guys out and you have the enchiladas and then the advertising goes out. So-and-so's enchiladas. Jeff Ketchum of Orange Blood says mid. It's going to be great. It's going to be exactly what they're looking for.
Yeah, I went to El Rifu Tex-Mex and Seafood yesterday. That's where I went. That's where the first plate was from. I got to say, it's pretty good. The first one.
Good. That's what we want. Pretty good.
Like not good enough that I devoured them last night when I was hungry. I was just like, I just don't need to eat tonight.
That's fair. That's fair. Speaking of tonight, we are talking to you on Halloween, of course. Y'all be careful out there, whether you're avoiding kids or gnomes. Here's a little Specs love for you.
When the savings are this good, the whole world takes notice.
If I had some possessed gnomes coming after me, I'd really enjoy crushing them up. That'd be fun. If some gnomes got to walking after me or something, that'd be good. All right, let me scan the chat real quick. Make sure I'm not missing any super chats. Wait, there's one. Hang on. Looks like Mike is throwing in a thought here, maybe enchilada-wise. $10. Hell yeah, Texas is going to win 35-10. Whoa, those are real enchiladas. Finally, good stuff, Catch and Michelle. Love the dedication and commitment. Catch, what did I tell you? Multiple enchiladas is what people are used to seeing, and you're dead on. You got to have a lot of stuff slathered on top. I know you and Michelle aren't into it. This is what enchiladas are. They are a messy pile of more than one thing. That's what enchiladas are. You nailed it on the pictures today. Perfect. That's exactly what I told you to find. You gave him that single enchilada last week. It fried my brain.
It looked such an orphan bastard enchilada.
Exactly. It fried everybody else's brain
Do you
too.
still have the picture loaded?
Do what? I don't have it loaded. I can load it up. Hang on. Hold on. Let me find enchiladas Mississippi State, because that was bizarre. Here it is.
Not my fault.
Enchiladas Mississippi. See, this week, I'll give them the contrast, because this week feels like when you say enchiladas Vanderbilt, it sounds like a special dish, right? That's enchiladas Vanderbilt. Here's Mississippi State. It looks like a 13-year-old built it and dumped some stuff on top of it and said, you know what that is? That's an enchilada. And you're like, damn, Tommy thinks that's an enchilada. Let's eat it. We won't tell him.
I mean, look,
Y'all
there's a
well.
reason why you know what Michelle claims? That she stopped at Chewy's on the way home. Like she didn't even get home before she realized the people are not going to accept this as an enchilada.
Right. Y'all both did backups last week. Is that true?
Yes.
I love that. And the level of commitment is so crazy. The fact that you guys are both very picky. You don't really like enchiladas now that you've had them, but you are going out of your way. Oh, they're not going to buy that because that didn't look like an enchilada. Now I've got to go to Chewy's. And then you're thinking the same thing and you ended up somewhere else too. It's crazy.
I ended up ordering something on Grubhub at 8:00 in the morning on Saturday. No chances.
God, that was the best. Mike, thank you for that super chat because it allowed us to show that bizarre picture from last week. I was scared when I saw it, and now it has, I think that probably affected that Texas offense as much as anything else did. I think we can blame
Michelle's
that.
attitude last week about that whole thing was like, wait a minute. What's the big fuss? It's a chicken taco, and you make it better by putting some steak on it, some beef, meat. And I was like, that actually does sound good when you say it like that, but I do understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, not exactly what we mean when we say enchiladas. Real quick, Jay for $2. Spinach and mushroom enchiladas are the shiz. Jay, I'm with you there. That can be good. Different enchiladas, different stuff. I'll do a little spinach every once in a while. Catch is already shaking you off. Catch is not throwing that pitch.
I've already had the spinach conversation in the household this week.
Go back to the
My son likes to say IDK. And I was like, you know what, son? That's one step above saying K on a text exchange on the phone, which is the most passive-aggressive FU that you can give a person. So the next time you tell me IDK when you don't know what you say, you don't know what you want for dinner, I'm going to bring out like basically some spinach and mushrooms. And when you don't want to eat it, I'm going to be like, oh, so you do care because you said you don't care. So eat this spinach and mushroom shit. God, you don't care. You said IDK. Well, IDK that you do K. So eat up.
There should be way more parents forced just feeding their kids spinach on a weekly basis. Way more. Just it should definitely happen.
That's probably the most sass my son's ever given me, by the way, ever. Like I won't call him perfect because he is a little shit like they all are. But him basically going IDK. He's in his brooding 11. He's like 11 going on 17 though.
I can't believe they're speaking in acronyms now.
How long
has this been happening?
Have you ever seen Inside Out?
Yes.
He is effectively the boyfriend in the movie that is like, I love you, or like whatever it is that he says in the movie. That's basically Hendrix. He just sounds like that.
Oh my God. By the way, you want to talk about snarkiness? Wes continues to get snarky with me. Buy or sell. Chad has still yet to finish Band of Brothers. It's a buy, Wes. I'm sorry. It's a buy. We're in the middle of football season. I think I've watched two or three of those episodes, and I'm not through all 8. I'm sorry.
Well, how have you not binged Band of Brothers?
It's an incredible show. I really enjoy it, but I haven't finished it yet.
Let me know when you're going to jump into 4. I'll hop in with you.
Yeah.
I'll get somebody to talk to about it.
Right. And to be fair, Wes, that genre is not a bingeable genre to me.
Bullshit.
I don't like to watch a ton of war stuff. That's just not my thing.
I have binged Band of Brothers half dozen times. Like once I start, I'm in.
Once I got started with Breaking Bad and The Wire and stuff like that moved a little quicker for me. The war stuff's just heavy for me to deal with. I'll get there. I promise. I'll get there.
It gets heavier, dude.
Right. I think, and that's the other thing. I'm in episode 2 or 3. I'm assuming things don't just get more fun as we go along.
They really don't, Chad. Just so you know, like all the way through.
Right. I'm assuming
it's not fun.
I've read up enough and I've seen enough coverage of World War II to know how things progressed. So I'm not exactly
just because they call it Easy Company does not mean they had it easy in World War II.
Exactly. Good point. That is a great point. All right. You want to buy or sell here, Catch?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. First or second?
I'll go first today.
Hit it.
Buy or sell number 1. There's only about a 10% chance that Texas can break 30 points tomorrow against Vanderbilt.
Because
they played this game 10 times. They'd break 30 once. Never more.
Yeah, I think it's a buy. It's a buy. This is the most complete team they've faced in terms of run game, stop the run, all that. I do not trust this run game. I hope I'm being an overly, sensitive parent, But if you can't run on Mississippi State, you ain't scoring 30 on Vandy more than once out of 10. So, yeah, bye.
I mean, wouldn't that just require like the defense and the special teams are helping you get there?
It would, yes. And I'm one that I can never count on those things. I like this defense a lot, and I like what the special teams have done. But I can't go into the game thinking, oh, the defense and Niblet will create a touchdown each. I'm like, whoa. I don't know if I could do that.
All right, buy or sell number 2. Ryan Wingo tomorrow, 80-plus receiving yards against Vandy. He builds off of the performance from last week where he had like 180-something.
80-plus receiving yards. Yeah, I'll buy that. I'll buy it. They've got some weapons on offense, and they're finding them. But I think the weaponry is about the receivers, and I think he'll continue to be that guy. Let's hope he just gets rid of those drops. But yeah, I'll say it ends up at like 85, 88, maybe 90, somewhere in there.
Fair enough. Buy or sell number 3. No major upsets tomorrow.
Oh, sell. There are 10 games where a ranked team is away from home facing an unranked team. No way they all get out of it. And Catch, I'm going to give you 2 right now. Texas Tech at K-State, Notre Dame at Boston College. One of them will lose this weekend. You heard it here first.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Buy or sell number 4. Blue Jays win the World Series tonight in 6 games.
I'm going to
Pretty impressive that they came back from that 18th inning.
Yeah. Real impressive. And the fact that they came back from that with a couple of like dominant tennis set scores, 6-1, 6-2. Yeah. It's like, whoa, easy, fellas.
It's like whenever Joker gets pissed, like occasionally he'll drop the first 2 games or first 2 sets, and you're like, and then something will happen, and then it's like 6-1, 6-2, 6-1, and you're like, oh, it was one of those, huh?
It was one of those, yeah. But I'm going to say it's not tonight. I'm going to say the pitching for because tonight it's Yamamoto. Is that his name? Do I have that right?
I don't know who's pitching tonight.
The badass pitcher, the guy who's making even more than Ohtani, he goes tonight. So I'm going to say he gets it done for the Dodgers. I think this thing's going 7, so I'll sell.
I saw that Vlad Guerrero Jr. has the 3rd highest World Series OPS of all time, behind 2 guys named Ruth and Gehrig.
Yeah, that's the great part. He's like the second act in this thing to Ohtani, but his numbers are stupid right now.
And that's like a minimum of 90 plate appearances. Like, it's not like he hadn't gotten some swings in.
Yeah.
And finally, buy or sell number 5. You are not a cheap son of a bitch when it comes to Halloween candy that you give out.
This is a complicated one. You are not a cheap SOB when it comes to Halloween candy you give
out. You can be a cheap SOB in other walks of life.
Right.
But specifically when it comes to Halloween candy, you get the good stuff.
Buy. If Halloween candy is going to be handed out, I am enough of a candy snob that I want to get good stuff. So yeah, in fact, I would even push for full candy bars versus fun size in a couple cases, because I liked that when the old men and old women would do that back in the day for us. I appreciated it. When I would see that full size Nestle's Crunch, I'd be like, you know what, lady, I don't even know your name, but well done. So yeah, I'm gonna buy.
Heather buys these like grab bags that have Twizzlers and shit in them, and it's just like,
no. I would keep it on a straight and narrow. I'd go Reese's products, Twix, Kit Kat. I think a Nestle's Crunch is a great Halloween item. I'd go Milky Way minimum. That's what I'd be.
I'm with you. I like the idea of like be the house that's remembered for full-size candy bars.
Yep. You can do some fun size, but pick something. Whatever it is, pick one thing and say, we're giving full-size Twix this year, or we're going full-size Kit Kat, or whatever it happens to be. That's what you do. Or maybe those giant king-size Reese's cups that they make, and they make like 9 different flavors of them now. Hand those out. Okay, not to everybody.
Pick those. I think they have like Reese's Pieces in the middle of them. Like
exactly. About every 10th kid, drop that in there, and they'll start talking about you in the neighborhood. About every 10th kid.
One kid's like, I just got a monster Reese's. What did he give you? I look like 2 Twizzlers. What the fuck is that?
You'd be like Charlie Brown. I got a rock. Oh, damn. Oh my God. That's fantastic. All right, that was your 5?
That was my 5.
All right, here we go, Catch. It all has to be true. Buy or sell number 1. Arch, Taft, and Hudson all start and Texas wins. Buy or sell.
Baby, bye.
Okay. All right.
But I think I'm on I thought Taft was definitely playing yesterday. And now my foot's a little on the brake, but seems to be coming down to it seems like the doctors are advising. One of the things that you hear is that the doctors are telling him it would be better to wait till Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
And he just may not agree. And so is Ronnie Lott running the asylum or not? You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think there's an agency that a pro player has that I don't know about college. I don't know.
Right. So they're saying maybe we should wait till Georgia, and he's saying wrap it up in Kevlar and get me out there.
Seems like there may be a little bit of that taking place. Yeah. I've heard that, unconfirmed. Don't take that as gospel, but it has been a thing that's been mentioned. And it was mentioned to me by a source last night who was saying, I don't know that I would count on him for sure on Saturday.
For the record, I hate watching any starter that has to stand on the sideline and watch a game because of injury. But Catch, I think the active guys on defense are the saddest to watch. Did you see those shots of Taft last week on the side? It just looked like it was driving him crazy that he was trying to coach other guys and he was trying to be involved, but you could see it in his face.
Well, now this guy hadn't been home in 6 weeks. Like, I'm sure there's an itch to get back at DKR when you're a senior and you only got a few of those left.
No doubt. All right, Catch, let's go around the country a little here. Buy or sell number 2. There is a ranked matchup in the Big 12 tomorrow, and you can name either team.
Oh, I saw this because the other one is OU and Tennessee, right? There's 2 ranked matchups.
There are 3 because Texas is as well.
Oh, that's right. Duh. Is it the Texas Tech Kansas State game?
It is not.
Okay, well then I don't know it. Or is it Utah and Arizona? I don't know.
Ooh, there you go. You got one. It's Utah. It's where game day's going. Cincinnati at Utah.
Oh, that's right. I should have known that.
Yeah, night kick on ESPN. Catch, back to the SEC. Buy or sell number 3. If you had to pencil in one team for Atlanta in the SEC, it's Ole Miss. Buy or sell?
Sell. I think I'm going to pencil in A&M. Because
Okay.
they only have to win, like in theory, if we talked about this yesterday. I think if they win tomorrow, I think they've got 1 foot in the door.
Okay. Yeah, the Ole Miss schedule, now that they're done with that Oklahoma game, really does feel pretty doable the rest of the way. So that I know there's a lot of people talking about Ole Miss.
I mean, I guess the A&M game's in 2 weeks. It's not tomorrow. Otherwise, that would be one of the ranked matchups. But
right,
if they win that game at Missouri,
yes,
it feels like at worst they'll be 11-1, and I don't know. They won't have none of that. Their one wouldn't be to, they beat Missouri and then they lose to Texas. It won't be to Georgia, Alabama. So there's a weird tiebreaker thing that they won't have to mess with all those other teams.
But there certainly is a world where if they beat Missouri and South Carolina, you would think that might even lock a spot down, right?
Could.
I mean, it could. Once we get there, we'd have to look at the math, but could be. Ole Miss is interesting to watch, though. It's landmine games for them the rest of the way. It's stuff that you don't think is going to mess them up, but it's lane, so you don't know. And
it really is as simple as that. It's lane, and you just don't know.
Yeah, they're at home to South Carolina this week, and that could have been a big game if South Carolina was any good. Are they going to pay attention? It's a 6 o'clock game. We'll see. All right, Catch, let's go to the NFL. There are 2 matchups in the NFL of winning teams. One of them is Kansas City and Buffalo, and you can name the other.
The other game between winning teams?
Winning teams. There's only one other game.
They both have to be above 500?
Yes, sir. It's a noon kick.
I feel like it's going to be so obvious. What was the first one you said?
Kansas City and Buffalo. That's late window, but there is one in the early window that doesn't immediately pop into your head necessarily because this is very much a blue collar kind of matchup.
Okay, I think you just gave me the hint that I needed.
Yes.
Is it Colts Steelers?
There you go. There it is. Well done. Well done. Yep.
That is maybe the only other game in the noon slate that I know, because I saw the Steelers play and they talked about it, and they were all, you can't get beyond the circle jerk that's turned into the Indianapolis Colts season.
Yeah.
So
wild.
I keep seeing the Colts season put up, and it's like, here's their next 5 games, and they could be at 12 wins. And I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, they're really, if they go to Pittsburgh and get a win, that'll be impressive. All right, and finally, Catch, maybe my favorite Halloween.
The Steelers are above 500, though.
Yes, the Steelers are, 5-3 going into this game, I think?
I don't know. That's why I didn't say it right away, because for some reason I thought they might have been 4-4.
I think they're 5. I believe it's 5-3 for them.
That's why I asked they have to be above 500.
Yep, there you go. All right, my favorite Halloween birthday, Nick Saban, 74. You can tell me where he went to college.
I can't.
No, it's a legendary school, Catch. So Nick Saban went there. Also, the greatest coach of all time went there. James Harrison went there, if that helps you at all. And I think Julian Edelman also went to this school. It's a legendary institution. It produces winners left and right. How do you not know? It's embarrassing.
Was he go to Fordham?
It's not quite that small. Kent State. Kent State.
No, I was never going to get that.
Kent State produced Nick Saban, Lou Holtz, and James Harrison.
Good for them.
Yeah, how about that, right? Just a bizarre combination of
you should have gave me the hint that I needed.
What was that?
Students murdered on campus.
Oh, I would.
I know it's an oldie, but I would have got it.
Too soon. Too soon, Catch. It's way too soon. I was not going to go to that reference. I wasn't going to go to that reference. I would have tried to make a bad. The only thing
I know Kent State for.
I would have tried to make a bad flash pun to see if you knew the mascot, but I would not have gone to the incident on campus.
In the 60s, some people got shot and killed there. Oh!
Yeah. Oh! Kent State. There you go. I wasn't going to go there. I was not going there. That's not it. I had nothing to do with that one. All right. Real quick, let me tell you about AV consultations. I mentioned earlier the stinking thing going on with YouTube and ESPN and everything. This seems to happen every once in a while. It's nothing you can control, but you can control your stuff, your setup, and the thing, the screens and everything in your house. AV consultations can make sure you're ready. Now, you're going to have to deal with these things when, the networks and the companies start fighting with each other. But AV consultations will at least make sure that you got an awesome setup to try to deal with it. 255-8678, the room you've always wanted, that movie viewing room you've always wanted. And of course, everything's on streaming now. Make sure you're not just streaming stuff on computers and phones. Make sure you got it on a nice big screen, and make sure you have a bigger screen than all those family members and friends, that it's important that you have a bigger screen then. You know who I'm talking about. If Uncle Joe has a bigger screen at Thanksgiving, it's going to piss you off. AV consultations can make it better. 255-8678 or go to avconsultations.com. Tell them you heard about it on Orange Bloods Live. All right. I don't think there are any super chats right now. Catch, we talked about Arch Manning, obviously, a lot today. Any other Arch thoughts on your mind before we head towards the end today?
I can see if I see Arch, I feel like Arch Manning leads Texas to a win in this game. I don't know what an Arch Manning-less offense looks like at Texas. And now just circle back to, it's real easy to say, well, you eliminate the ground balls and the bad throws and the worst that we have seen from him at times this season, where, when he plays like he did against Kentucky, it's hard for this team to win. But for the better part of the last 6 weeks, he had the bad game against Kentucky, and then he's been the best thing about this offense. And Jason Supermel and I got into a little bit of an argument about this, where he was like, what about Trey Wisner against Oklahoma? I was like, okay. He's either been the number one or the number two offensive thing that this team has had in every game. I don't feel like you come out of the game against Mississippi State last week and saying, you know what? Texas doesn't need Ryan Wingo this week. Like, the one thing I don't think this Texas team has the luxury of is taking away their best players. And Arch Manning may not be the best player in America. He may not be the best quarterback in the SEC, but he's been the best offensive player. For instance, I think he's the offensive MVP of this team. Now, that's not a bar that's set incredibly high.
Right. It's him or one of the receivers.
Or Gooseby.
Maybe.
But
yeah.
I don't know that Texas has a receiver that's going to break 600 yards.
Yeah.
So, you've got a guy who is finding a way to live with terrible blocking, no running game, inconsistent receivers, a tight end position that routinely grades as the worst in college football. We never talk about that. The tight end grades do you know, like, the 4 worst graded players on the team last week were all tight ends?
Jeez.
Yeah.
I know they had that many.
Well, they played them all.
Yeah, I guess so.
And it was like, oh, they're all not grading very high. Ugh. So I don't know. I find myself, I want Arch to be healthy and fine, but I really have zero urge to see this Texas offense, which hasn't been able to figure itself out with its MVP. Whatever we think that is, again, you tell me who's been the better player than Arch on this offense all season long.
Yeah.
It is slim pickings.
By the way, Catch, if this is real, I would like for everybody to start putting stacks of money in their super chats.
Wow.
I think it's real. Sandman, $99.99 to ask this question. Chad, why did you attend a fake military school if war stuff is too heavy for you? Wow. Sandman, I'm going to accept your money, and we are not getting into that conversation. How about that? There you go.
Did you ever feel like while you were there, fake military, like you got why people said that?
I get it on a very small scale. How people would say it, yes.
I mean, it's just weird that people are so disrespectful.
That is weird, yes. That's why we don't need to go into it anymore. Yanez for $10. Catch, have you tried chicken enchiladas verdes? I think chicken goes best with tomatillo sauce instead of red sauce. I got a feeling like this is going to be a no. Catch, have you ever done like the green sauce thing in Mexican food? No? Because I really dig what Giannis is talking about here, especially for a change of pace. Sometimes I just don't feel like heavy beef enchiladas. So I'll go all over like some shrimp or chicken enchiladas, the spinach idea from earlier. But this, yeah, chicken enchiladas.
Can we get confirmation about the pronunciation of the name?
Giannis?
Yeah, I want to know if that's how he actually pronounces his name.
All right. I could
By
have
the
gone.
way, what is this?
Oh, I see. Okay. That's what I thought. Yeah. Okay. I didn't.
Now it's just turned into Chad. You're just catching strays out here.
Yeah, I thought that it wasn't real when I first saw it because I was like, "That's not a real." But he did do the capital letters and all that stuff. So yeah. So it did not come up as a super chat on my end, and come up as a different color. So I should have known. But yeah, but seriously, if everybody in their real super chats could start just putting stacks of money in there, like so we know, that would be good. That would be really good. Yeah.
Sandman.
Thank you, Sandman. I appreciate you.
So hold on. See, I think you've said it wrong.
I appreciate you. Did I say it wrong?
Well, Just a Dude says, I think Just a Dude is saying Janice.
Oh, Janice. Okay, well, the Z threw me off.
But that's not him. So I need Janice or Giannis. Hey, Sandman, enough's enough. We're at the end of the week.
You're too good for my money. Well done. Well done, Sandman. Sandman, where's the like fire emojis with a fire me? Because you are the fire Sark guy. So just if you're gonna land it,
Sandman's been trying to fire Sark?
Oh yeah. Sandman's been trying to fire Sark for a long time. In fact, sometimes he'll jump in the chat before we even start the show with a fire sark.
All right, I'm good, Chad.
Okay, wait. It's actually Jane Z. Okay, Jane, my bad. It's Jane Z.
No.
What?
Oh, Jane Z.
Jane Z.
Oh,
there
wow.
You know what's wrong with the world today?
It's a woman.
It's these damn Jane Z kids. That's what it is. Jane Z. Okay, Jane.
I'm so glad I asked because you were like Giannis. And I was like, I don't know that that's Giannis.
Yeah. Sorry, Jane. I would see it. I figured, I would figure if you could do that, they would let Jane do like a space and a capital Z, but they don't. Sometimes they don't let you do that. Jane,
now that she said Jane Z, now I feel stupid because that is a little bit like in Dumb and Dumber when he's like, to her, and he's like, the.
Yeah, I think
to her, to he, to the.
But in my defense, you see why I went there, right? I mean, come on. It's a lowercase Z at the end of what I thought was a name.
By the way, I love that just a dude just threw out, this is what it is. Oh, sorry, my bad.
That's on me. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm good.
Oh, my God. That is funny. Okay, wait, hold on. This is Sailor Joe now jumping in. Don't feel bad, Chad. We here in the military make fun of the commissioned officers from A&M. Man, oh man.
I didn't know it was like that.
What is that at the end? What are those emojis at the end? What is that? Is that dancing money? Or those cactus?
Those are dollar bills that went to heaven.
Exactly. They've been sainted. I have no idea. Sainted cash is what that is. All right. We got Scottish Guy coming up before we are done. Before we do that, though, I wanted to show you guys something I've been talking about for a while, the outdoor seating at Taste on Main. I grabbed some of the pictures that they have online just to give you a sense when I talk about the outdoor stuff, the tree house bar area. We got the weather turning, and it's just a great time to get out there. I'll throw up the QR code for you as well. Right there in downtown Buda, there's free parking right across the street. And if you'll notice in the upper right, they've got the heaters in case they need those. Always got the heaters and the fans ready to roll, whatever the weather provides. But great outdoor seating opportunities for those brunches on Saturday and Sunday, 10 to 3. Go have you some East Coast oysters. It's all they serve when it comes to oysters at Taste on Main. Or just go have one of those badass steaks and an incredible whiskey drink. You can't go wrong with the Sam Elliott's mustache. Tell them that we told you about it here on Orange Bloods Live. Get over to Buda and Taste on Main. You will not be disappointed. All right, Catch, do you have anything else to get to before we hit Scottish Guy and wrap up? No? Ready to go. By the way, we're going back a little ways for today's Scottish Guy song. It's not Iron Maiden, by the way. Iron Maiden's just the closest thing I can get to a Halloween costume, but it's not. But we go back a ways. I think Catch will know the song. I don't know if some of you youngsters will. We'll wrap up that way. We'll remind you, come to the watch party tomorrow, TCH Social Austin 183 and Anderson Mill. We will see y'all there. Thanks to Catch and Michelle, the Enchilada crew, for keeping it going. They did, in case you didn't see it earlier, this was yesterday. And just to make sure, this was today. No Mississippi State enchiladas this week. They went full blast. We will have the post-game show for you, sponsored by the Lowy Law Firm tomorrow, hopefully at the 2-minute warning when Texas is handling their business against Vanderbilt. Y'all have a great weekend. Check out the channel. Thank you for getting us over 174,000 subscribers. That is absolutely awesome. Check out all the great content, the video section, the short section, and of course, the live section as well. It's Friday, so we will finish up with the Scottish Guy. Y'all be careful. See ya.
When you see your ship go sailing, when you feel your heart is breaking, hold on tight to your dream. Longhorn fans, it ain't over yet. For 2 straight weeks, loss number 3 has run right up to you in the forest and drawn back the knife. Only for Sark and this team to hit old hockey mask Jason with buckets of culture and a big F you. And now, it's the game everybody has been dreading. Oh no, wait, that's in a couple weeks. This is just Vanderbilt. They couldn't beat Bama. They barely beat Missouri, and they outlasted LSU. That's no big deal. The Aggies did that, and GEAUX just fired the voice actor and dancer that is Brian Kelly. So I hate to disappoint the Longhorn-hating country of college football, but you're gonna keep waiting for UT sadness. Because whether it's Plan 16 or Plan 18, it's gonna be storybook at DKR. If Arch can go and fights through the fog of a concussion, that offense will play like they did late in Starkville and light up the scoreboard. Back at home, Wingo catches everything. You got that one? Everything. The running game wakes up, Livingston and Mosley keep making big catches, and the Texas defense continues its bloody march through the SEC. Apologies to the Pavia family and the LBJ crew that may show up. Your offense gets nothing on Saturday. Now I know what you're thinking, but Scottish guy, what if Arch can't play? Then it's gonna be one hell of a special story. This is why you hit the portal for experience at QB. If you're willing to play at Gardner Webb, which I still think is made up, you'll sacrifice everything for the craft. Sark has asked young Caldwell to make a couple high-pressure throws, and what happened? Right on the mark, including the game winner in an SEC night game. What happens if number 18 plays? He gets early rhythm, his teammates step up around him, the Texas defense puts on a show, and Kirby Smart will have to wonder which QB is coming to take his soul and his season on November 15th. All right, Doors. Hope you brought those anchors you keep talking about. It'll make it easier to find the bodies. UT 62, the Great Pretenders 3. This is SG 7-2.